What's up, YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. In today's video, we're going to watch this clip from Jeff Teague's podcast as he compares who is the top dad, Lavar Ball, Joe Jackson, or Deion Sanders. Now, on the surface, that's to me feels like a crazy conversation comparison. I will shoot them some bail and say that they did a really good job of cleaning up, adding context to it, and making the conversation not a crazy one, but an interesting one. The tough part about this, though, is this is just like that Michael Jordan LeBron debate where folks can be entrenched on this conversation in such a way that like it's almost blasphemous or offensive to be number two in this conversation, right? When you think about the LeBron Jordan debate, is all of the NBA players ever to play, and they debating on if you won or two, and how could you even like fix yourself to be offended by it. In this conversation, when you really look at the accolades that they're trying to compare, it's like, how could anybody be offended by this conversation? But I found it to be interesting, and we will get into it. Let's do it. So let me give you some context. So he's talking about Skechers here because prior to this, they talked about these ads from Skims, which is wild. I apologize for having this up here. But your boy Shea Gilders, Alexandra, Neymar, and Nick Bosa signed with Kim Kardashian's underwear line. She used to make underwear for women. Now they do it for men. And so they were asking Skims or Skechers, and he was saying, I'm going with Skechers. Now, here is where it becomes a conversation about Big Baller Brand, Lavar, and all of them. All right, so that first off, come on now, don't do my boy Lonzo like that. Obviously, I feel like ever since Lonzo was on that Josh Hart podcast and he talked about those original BBBs being trash and them having to replace them after every quarter, folks have hung on to that and credited all his injuries and not his success, but the moments that he has lacked that to those sneakers, and it's not the case, man. Shout out to my man over here who said the right thing with them BBBs. Ain't no way you picking them Skechers over them BBBs. And the boy Jello got some shoes coming out. I saw those, and I feel like y'all would pick those over anything Skechers got to offer.
Who's better dad? Brother Ball or Joe Jackson?
Joe,
he had five stars.
he had Michael.
He didn't have 5 stars. He didn't.
No.
Now, here's what I'm saying. When you first hear that, I'm like, wait a minute, Joe Jackson over Lavar? But then I feel like they clean it up and make it make sense.
Michael's bigger than the whole
Jackson
LeVar
5.
family lineage.
No, for sure.
Jackson 5 was lit.
Joe.
But you don't remember some of their names.
Joe fucked up Michael's
Janet.
childhood.
Was she part of 5?
No.
It was
Nah, she's
Randy,
part of the lineage,
Tito,
though. That's his sperm.
Randy, Tito, Jermaine, Michael.
give me Jello Ball over them.
Marlon.
Give me Jello Ball over them.
Over Janet Jackson?
No, Janet is definitely.
Michael and Janet is enough.
Yeah, but still.
I thought you was gonna say LeVar or Deion.
No, that ain't fair. Oh, that's close, but I gotta go LeVar so far.
Yeah, I'm going Deion, bro.
Eventually it will. LaMelo's on a max deal.
Better dad. Not the better player, and better dad is LeVar.
Nah, just the shit.
Fuck no.
He got.
Yeah, because I'm going
Yeah.
with the dad.
Just who we
yeah,
like
better
more.
dad. Give me Deion.
We don't know personal enough to be like, oh, he's a better father. No,
From
we
what
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
talking
From what
about
I've
who
saw,
produced the
from
better
what I've
seed as an
seen.
athlete.
Yes.
By far the worst. It was Joe Jackson.
DeBrat was
Teague.
my friend. Oh, what?
I'm talking about how hard they was on their kids.
Chris, like, hey, don't put.
So see right there, they cleared up. So they saying based on not your actual fathering or let me say, yes, you're based on your father and like who you shot out of you and what they went on ahead to accomplish, not so much how you treated them and interacted them and all of that stuff, right? So that's how Joe Jackson has remained in this conversation, because when you look at the Michael Jacksons, the Janet Jacksons of the world, Michael is Michael, right? That's one of the tops of the tops. And then Janet is one of the tops of the tops as well. And then you got Deion, Shador, Shiloh, as far as football players and what they doing and accomplishing right now. Add some stuff to the conversation.
Nah, my dad was fired. I had a clue that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
my dad dope. But for real though, that's like putting out special kids. It's Lavar. Like between Deion and
Give me Dell Curry.
Dell Curry, yeah, they went in the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it in.
My man throwing out Dell Curry. Now Dell is a name that deserves to be in this conversation with Seth and Steph for sure. But come on, man, we ain't talking about Dell. I guess if you have Deion in there, Dell is fair game as well.
In there though.
That was Dell, yeah, and he got a new girl. Shout out to Dell.
I'm gonna skip. They finna talk about Dell and his ladies and all of that stuff and what they look like. We're gonna skip that and keep going.
So she's one of us.
She the complete opposite. She got somebody else too.
Remember that's at the game.
Saying co-parenting the niggas is 30 is crazy.
You see Step Brothers?
Yeah. Shout out to Steph and them though.
Both are
That is a hell of a two kids to have though.
Nah, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go with Dell Curry, man. Clean cut. I'm picking him over LeVar. Bro.
Hey man, Lavar just funny because they had the series. Ball in the Family was one of my favorite TV shows of all time, bro. Because Lavar was really on bullshit, but he was like, nah, I'm really paid. Y'all niggas ain't.
Nah,
and I
for
fucked
sure.
with that.
LeVar Ball showed it really because Master P fucked it up. So LeVar Ball cleaned it up. He showed us how to be a real dad for sure.
Wow.
Being in your kids' lives, man.
Stop that.
Standing on your kids and saying your kids is better than the best nigga in the league, that's fire, bro.
Yeah, that's out of pocket but fire.
No, that's fire.
He literally finessed the Lakers and getting Lonzo.
Because like how LaMelo is, it's hard, bro. Because his confidence is through the roof, bro.
It is.
Like I think that all has to do with his dad raising him that way, bro. He probably got on his dad nerves because he bad than a motherfucker, but he like, man, this nigga gonna go kill. He think he better than everybody. So, and I feel like you gotta have that type of confidence to excel in the NBA.
Yeah.
For sure. I feel the same way about Lonzo. I feel like I hate he's gonna be one of the people that they may not mention a lot, but when we talk about like the what ifs or injuries, I think he one of the people because I feel like Lonzo could have been a steady, crazy, good point guard for a very long time period.
What is really wrong with him though? For
He ain't
real,
got no need. He like me. What y'all think about Cooper Flag?
All right, so that's pretty much the end of that conversation. Now, here's what I'll say is I think right there towards the end, they started really giving some credence to not just who you fathered, but how you fathered them, right? And so to me, I feel like folks who follow the Big Baller brand and that movement, it's because you end up learning the nuances of how the fathering and the parenting has taken place over the years, and then you know what I mean? Like, damn, that's something to aspire to. I think where their conversation to go back on like who's the top dad based off of who you know what I mean, fathered and brought into this world and what they have become. I do think Dell Curry is interested in that conversation because obviously you have Seth and Steph, and Seth has risen to such a level that like no matter where Seth is, Steph is bringing him up the ladder, right? Steph is bringing Seth up and raising the validity of where he is in that conversation. However, I think when you really look at number 2 overall pick in the NBA draft, and then you look at number 3, I don't know if Seth is in that echelon, right? I think he has went on to have a solid NBA career, but I think that if Zoe was healthy, the solidness is there, right? So you would have two solid NBA guys with them, but you don't, because Zoe is we're waiting to see how he'll come back and return to the game. And so it does and it makes it an interesting conversation. I think when it comes to Deion, you have Shador, who is looking like a Heisman candidate, and obviously the way this season is going, there's some conversation of whether he's still in that conversation. However, the caliber of play that he's playing with really points to him at some point being a first round, if not a top 5 pick in the NFL draft at that quarterback position. When you then go to Shiloh, the question becomes, I think he's an NBA player. NFL player. I think he'll get that shot, but will he be as highly ranked and highly as touted as a Zoe, a Melo, a Seth, a Steph, and all of those guys? And we see the journey that Seth went on and all of that stuff. So I think that's where I have to give my tip of the hat to Lavar and making him the top guy in this conversation. Now, I'm sure there's some other dads out there you could really, if you wanted to throw Giannis's dad in the conversation, I don't know if you would do that or not, but I'm sure you could. The holidays got some, but still, when you look at the level and magnitude of like notoriety that these folks have going, I think it begins and ends with your boy Lavar. But Shemaine, man, AB the hero, we finna get up out of here. Holla at you.
Be the hero. No, not peace. +1, triple B's. We out.